Hey everyone, this is Swati Dhuke, Management Lead at Google Developer Student Club's Bajaj Institute of Technology, Vardha. Don't you feel that job offers should pour in without even lifting a finger, saving you a lot of time and effort? If you feel the same, continue watching the video. Good morning everyone, I'm Swati Dhuke from Computer Engineering Department, and today I'm here to share some tips on creating an effective LinkedIn profile. I guess mostly everyone knows what LinkedIn is, but if anyone doesn't, I'll describe it briefly. So, LinkedIn is the world's largest professional network on the internet. In simple words, it's the hottest place for job search. LinkedIn is full of recruiters spending their entire day on the platform looking for candidates. Recruiters and hiring managers come to you instead of you going to them. Like, you can just sit back and wait for all the job offers to pour in. And the job offers that you get are also relevant to your experience and preferences. If anyone is wondering, what is she speaking? We have never received, or no potential employer has contacted us for any job offer. Well, that's because you haven't properly optimized your LinkedIn profile. And that's what I'm here for. I'll give you some tips for creating an effective LinkedIn profile, as a complete LinkedIn profile can help you connect with opportunities by showcasing your unique professional story through experience, skills, and education. So the first one is fill out your profile thoroughly. Okay, there's a reason why I'm putting this tip at the number 1. It is essential that you thoroughly fill out your LinkedIn profile. Here arises a question, why? Why do I have to fill my LinkedIn profile thoroughly? Because when recruiters search, all the filled out profiles will come up first. So no matter how talented you are or how much experience do you have, you will never be approached, only because your profile wasn't thoroughly filled out. While that is not the only factor that will affect your place in the hiring manager's search, but perhaps it's the most important one. So make sure to check out all the profile sections LinkedIn lets you include and fill in as many of them as you can. And no worries, we'll now walk through how exactly to do that for each essential section. So the second tip is to make a custom profile URL. When you first create your LinkedIn profile, you get an automatically generated URL, a pretty clunky one with a string of random numbers. So having a more professional, easy to read, find and search URL will seem good. As you can see here, the URL says that this is a person who has a profile on LinkedIn. So after seeing this URL, it is very understandable and easy to read. But the first one which gets generated has a string of random numbers. So you can make it a custom profile URL. So we'll have a look how to change it. When you open your LinkedIn profile, at the top right corner, you can see edit public profile and URL. So when you click on it, another page opens where you can edit your custom URL. So you can see this URL here, which is a long one with a string of random numbers. So by clicking on this pen, you can edit the URL. You can add your first name plus the last name and then hit on save, and your URL is changed. So let's jump on to the next step, which is pick the right profile photo. First of all, yes, it's important to have a profile photo. What's the right profile photo? So the key here is to aim for a professional but a friendly one. You don't have to just come up as a stock photo, but at the same time, it shouldn't be something super casual, like the profile photos you upload on Facebook, Instagram, or other social media sites. So, like, if you ask a question, how should the profile look like? Then, speaking about the clothes, you shouldn't be wearing your best suit, but don't just be sporting your favorite worn out tee either. So, you can just wear a professional one which is neat and clean. So, speaking about the looks should not be too stern, not too goofy. So, go for a friendly look. And the most important thing, quality is the key. Low resolution pics are a no go. So, and one more thing, like if you want to stand out, if you have a high quality photo of you doing something unique, like an interesting hobby or other professional interest, you can go for it. Like it will attract positive attention as long as it's not something too strange. Because you need to remember that LinkedIn is a professional platform. So it's best to get a professional headshot taken. So the next tip is get your headline right. Your headline is super important since it's the first thing recruiters see when looking at your profile. So it should convey who you are in a short and clear way. And many of the recruiters search by title. So having a right headline will help you to get a right and relevant job. And the headline can also include like your professional specific skills and titles. It's okay. So here are some headlines like coding ninjas, marketing samurai, developer unicorn. So these are the incorrect examples because no recruiter is going to search for coding ninja or a marketing samurai. So the correct examples are like Scrum Master, Project Manager. So when a recruiter searches for a project manager, your profile will be seen there. So, and you can also make sure like your title contains keywords like that can use to easily find you and pinpoint exactly what you do. So, example, if you are a Flutter developer, if you develop applications using Flutter, you can simply include the headline as the Flutter developer. And if you are a developer and mostly work with Java, it's best that you put a Java developer there. So the headline should be less descriptive. That's all about the headline. And then the next step is create a summary that stands out. Your LinkedIn summary is the first thing a recruiter reads after your headline. So it's super important to get it right. See, recruiters don't have time to read your entire profile from top to bottom. They read your headline, then summary, and quickly decide if you're relevant for the position they are hiring for or not. So it's important to get your LinkedIn summary right. I'll share a few tips for a good LinkedIn summary section. You need to include your years of experience in your current field. Like if you're working on a current field for a very long time, then you can include like how many years of experience do you have. And you can also list your most relevant skills, that is which includes the hard skills and the tools which you have worked on till now, and also the programming frameworks like C, C++, Java, etc. And if you are currently working, you can also include your job title. And the most important thing that you need to include is what you have excelled at or any relevant accomplishments you have. And you can also include what you're passionate about And if you're openly looking for a new job, then you also need to include what kind of role you're looking for. So these are the 6 important points that you need to include in your summary section. And then comes the experience section. We need to optimize our experience section. Arguably, your experience section is the most important part of your LinkedIn profile. After all, your experience is the number 1 factor on whether you're qualified for any job or not. So here are some of our tips on how your experience can stand out. So for each position, you need to include the responsibilities and achievements. So you can look out here. This is the experience section where a position is added, and it includes the responsibilities and also the achievements. You can look out here, best CV builders in 2020. So you need to include the position and the responsibilities you were given at the position, and also the achievements that you've got being in that position. And the next one is you can use the Laszlo's box formula, which describes your achievements, that is, accomplished X as measured by Y by doing Z, which says that whatever you've accomplished, by doing what you have accomplished it, or how was it measured by. So these are the points you need to include. And then the third one is skip out all the irrelevant work experience. So if I'll explain it with the example. So if you're a sales professional with 10 plus years of experience, you really don't need to include that one time when you worked as a cashier 15 years ago. So because that one time doesn't get considered as you have a 10 plus years of experience as a sales professional. So you can skip out the irrelevant work experience. And then comes the keywords, and keywords. Do you want your profile to be discovered by recruiters on LinkedIn? So you need to include the right keywords all over your profile, in the headline, in the summary, in the work experience, and also the skill section. Actually, these keywords will tell the LinkedIn algorithm that your profile is very relevant to the specific keywords used. For example, like if you do digital marketing, you could add the following keywords all around your profile, like content marketing, Facebook ads, Google ads, PPC advertising, etc. So whenever a recruiter looks up Google ad specialist, your profile will still pop up if your job title is unrelated, like if it's digital marketing specialist. If you're not sure about like which keywords to add, the best advice that I can give is you can find out a job that comes closest to the job you want and scan it for keywords. What stands out, what is being repeated in the list of responsibilities and desired experience and knowledge. Go off of that. You can see here as online marketing, Facebook advertising, so business administration. So these are the keywords used. And then comes the featured section, where you need to show off your work. Have any cool projects you've worked on? Organized any important events? Written articles or books? Then it's awesome. Show them off on your LinkedIn profile. These are especially helpful if you don't have a lot of work experience, especially if you're a software engineering graduate, you're a recent software engineering graduate. You can mention your GitHub profile with the projects you worked out in college, which will be impressive. All the projects that you have in your LinkedIn profile will be seen there. And the way to show off your projects on LinkedIn is to add the featured section. So how do you add the featured section? When you open your profile, click on the add profile section, and when you click on the add profile section, you can select the featured and you can pick what you want to add. And an other way to show your work is by adding multimedia to your experience entries. The same rule applies. They pop out, look good, and stand out for the recruiters. And the next comes include most, if not all, of your licenses and certifications. If you have certifications that are highly relevant for your role or the desired position, then you should include them on your LinkedIn profile. If you're searching for a job of a Java developer, then you need to include all the certifications of a programming language Java. So according to your desired position, we can include the certifications. And the same way, to include these certifications, you can go to your profile, click on the add profile section, and then pick out the licenses and certifications and include them. A pro tip, if you have any language certifications, you can include them too. And if you know foreign languages, whether you use the language in your job or not, knowing foreign languages is always a plus. The next tip is to fill in that skills section and get some endorsements. The skills and endorsement section is also an important part of your LinkedIn profile puzzle. You can feel free to go wild with this one. LinkedIn gives you a limit of 50 skills you can add. And you know what? You can add all 50. And every skill you possess as well as its synonyms too. For example, Java programming, Java development, or you can add all the derivatives which from where it derives. Example, digital marketing, content creation, online advertising, etc. In case you have more than 50 skills to list, make sure to stick to the most relevant ones. And if you can't think of 50, that's fine. Just add the ones you can think of, and LinkedIn will recommend some similar ones. Once you're done with that, it's time to get some endorsements. So you can contact your co-workers and ex-colleagues who are on LinkedIn and ask them to endorse your skills. And to return the favor, you can offer to also endorse them in return. So why is it important to get endorsed? Because endorsement is the social proof. While they are not what the recruiter is going to go off on whether they should hire you or not, they're going to make you a more presentable candidate. And a pro tip here, skip the soft skills and focus on the hard skills, if you have more than 50 skills. The next tip is get some recommendations. Think of all the people in your professional crowd you're close to and have had positive interactions with. Contact them and ask them for a recommendation on your LinkedIn profile. Recommendations actually add a social proof to your profile. They show that your co-workers and peers think highly of your skills. The most meaningful recommendations that you can get are from your direct management. So if you have had a boss that was fond of you, you can ask them to help you out. And the second best are from your clients or customers you've worked with. Someone who is very happy with and appreciative of the work you did for them. And thirdly, you can ask horizontally connected co-workers to leave you a recommendation too. Best if you work directly together in a team. Their opinion will hold more value due to them having spent more time with you. So this is all about the recommendation section. And then the next tip is hack the accomplishments section. LinkedIn gives you a pretty long list of possible accomplishments you can add to your profile, and I recommend you to make use of that. Anything you have done that you're proud of and can show off, which can include awards, languages learned, projects, publications, etc. You can add it. For the accomplishment parts, the recommendations that I can give, like as much information about the projects you have worked on as possible. You can include, like if you have worked on a project and you include that in your accomplishment, you need to mention some information about it, like what's the project about, what did you do, what kind of results did you achieve, and etc. As for the languages, just you can add the languages you know with the knowledge level. If you are a beginner or you are an intermediate or you are so fluent with the language, and yeah, you're good to go. Mentioning languages on LinkedIn can always come in handy, as there are a ton of multilingual job opportunities out there for most fields. And the next one is add some interests. Yes, LinkedIn has an interest section. And no, this is not what's going to land you your next job, but what it will help with showing some personality on your profile. Let's say, for example, you're a senior hardware engineer who is really interested in working for a space travel company. You could include NASA, SpaceX, Blue Ocean, and like other companies in your interests. So if a recruiter from such a company is looking at your profile, they're going to be more inclined to contact you. To add an interest, just look up whatever company, group, or school you're interested in, and click on their LinkedIn page, and then click the blue follow button under their name. And yes, they'll be included in your interest section. The next step is to disclose that you're open to new opportunities. LinkedIn lets you show whether you're open to new opportunities or not on your profile. And this helps the recruiters understand whether you're open to being approached or not. So simply hit get started and fill in the info. And don't worry, people in your company, that is your boss, won't be able to see your status. Just make sure that you have share with recruiters only on, because if it is off, your people in your company will be able to see. So take a note of it and make sure that you have shared with recruiters only on. And it's really important to disclose that you're open to new technologies, as recruiters will be able to know whether you're approachable or not. And the next step is write in the first person. For some reason, some people on LinkedIn use the third person when writing about themselves on their profiles. And we are not talking famous people who have a page and someone wrote it for them. We are talking about regular people with regular jobs. Mm, uh, like things like Josh is a grade A accountant with over 15 years of experience. Ram is a Flutter developer with over 5 years of experience. And that's a big no. Stick to the first person because it's you, it's your profile, and you're writing about yourself. So, like, when you see Josh is a grade A accountant or Ram is a Flutter developer, it shows that you're speaking about some third person. And that's a big no. Your LinkedIn profile is supposed to sound personal and sincere. The third person expression sounds more fake and pompous. So, in the LinkedIn profile, you need to always use the first person and always try to avoid using the third person. And the next tip is use numbers and data to emphasize accomplishments. So you need to always use numbers and data to emphasize accomplishments means that whenever you add something to your profile, try to add numbers. Like you can add the experience in numbers. You can add the skills you have in numbers. Like always try to include numbers. For example, compare the two work experience entries that I'll share with you. I did sales at company X versus I closed over $200,000 in sales deals at company X in 2019. I repeat, I did sales at company X versus I closed over $200,000 in sales deals at company X in 2019. Which one do you think is more compelling for the recruiter? Obviously, the second sentence. I closed over $200,000 in sales deals at company X in 2019. So, this sentence shows like if you can observe the first sentence, I did sales at company X, which is very simple and doesn't give a detailed information about the sales or about the company or about anything. But the second sentence gives the detailed information and shows how much effort you have put in and shows it shows the efforts that you have put in. So throughout your profile, use numbers and data to emphasize your achievements. This will allow you to seriously stand out from the rest of the candidates. And the next tip is to avoid typos. This should go without saying, but it's important enough to mention. Your LinkedIn profile is your business face. You can't get away with making basic spelling mistakes. So, the most recommended thing is that double checking, even triple checking the text on your LinkedIn profile. Not the best at editing. You can try using Grammarly. It's a spell checking software that catches 99% of the usual typos or mistakes. And you can also ask a coworker or a friend to proofread it for you if you want to be 100% safe. Because if you are applying for the jobs and you need to always take care of the typos. You can't make spelling mistakes or grammatical mistakes. You need to always double check or even triple check so that there are no typos in your LinkedIn profile. The next tip is be relevant and active. So being relevant all over the presentation, I've told you that being relevant is more important, but it deserves its own entry. Your LinkedIn profile should be 100% relevant for the positions you want to work, like as well as your career. uh, don't go on and on about your experience and skills as if it's a novel, because um, as I've told you before, recruiters don't have a lot of time. So try to mention it in small bulleted points, or try to use some keywords. So don't go on and on like it's a novel. It's very difficult to make out points after reading like a huge essay type. So, and also don't add every little thing you know or have worked with, especially if it's not in any way relevant to your current or future job aspirations. Then like just skip it, because there may be many other important things which you need to add for your current or future job aspirations. So all that small little things can be avoided, because of these small little things, your achievements or your accomplishments will not be noticed. So always try to highlight all the relevant matters and try to avoid all the unnecessary, like not unnecessary but irrelevant to your job. And don't fill your profile with buzzwords like things like critical thinker, good communication skills, team player, etc. Recruiters are desensitized to those anyway, because see, when you include in your profile all these words, um, mostly they don't make a sense there, because LinkedIn is a platform where um, it's a professional platform where recruiters are looking for people with good skills. So always try to add hard skills, because um critical thinker or good communication skills or a team player doesn't prove on themselves until someone spends time with you. So always try to avoid these words, because here recruiters are looking for the most skilled people, and all these things like whether you are a team player or not, whether you have good communication skills or not. Once you're selected by seeing your hard skills, then during the interviews and all of this will be covered. So try to include your hard skills more. Don't add your soft skills, like they're only taking up space and recruiters evaluate those during interviews anyway. So when filling in your different LinkedIn profile sections, always take a second to stop and think, is what I'm writing relevant to the job I want to get? So always think on it and add only the relevant points. And talking about being active, when on a job hunt on LinkedIn, it's also important to be active on the platform. That is, post professional content you enjoy, as well as engage with other people's posts. So if if your engagement is seen on the platform, the recruiters will easily be able to find you. And if you're not active for many days on LinkedIn, how can you expect the recruiters to find you? So always try to be active and post some content which you enjoy. And this lets you stand apart from other potential candidates and makes it more likely for the recruiters to notice you. So if you're always active, posting different things and engaging in other posts, participating in many activities there, then you'll be noticed anyway. So whenever a job opening for your role pops up, there's a good chance you'll be the first candidate on the recruiter's radar. So keep a note of this point. This doesn't mean you need to spend all your day on LinkedIn, though. Just dedicate 10 to 20 minutes to it per day max and you're good to go. But don't skip any day. Always try to invest at least 10 to 20 minutes on LinkedIn, and uh, like and be active there. So being relevant and active is also very important. And the next tip is network, network, and network. As its core, LinkedIn is a professional networking platform, meaning it's okay to add people who you haven't met in real life. That's what the platform is for. Feel free to add recruiters, HR specialists, and hiring managers in companies you want to work for to your network. This way, you'll always be updated with open positions that they might have, and you'll pop up on top of all other candidates when these recruiters do search for someone with your skill set. So always keep in mind though, when adding connections on LinkedIn, it's more courteous to send a connection request with a short message. I can give an example what a good connection message will look like. Uh, hello, first name. Hello, first name of that person. I'm currently on the lookout for a new job, and I'm expanding my network with professionals in the HR field, such as yourself. We'll be happy to discuss any opportunities at any point. Best regards, your name. So this is the way when you can connect with HR specialists, recruiters, hiring managers. It'll be more decent when you send a message with the connection request. I'll repeat the message once again. Hello, first name. Okay. If the name is suppose if the name is Swati Dhoke, then you can, if I am the recruiter, then you can just put a message like, hello Swati, I'm currently on the lookout for a new job, and I'm expanding my network with professionals in the HR field, such as yourself. We'll be happy to discuss any opportunities at any point. Best regards, and your name there. So this is a very decent connection message. And if you want to be more specific, there is a 300 character restriction for a connection message. It doesn't allow more than that. So after they accept your connection request, you can send them an intro message such as hello, first name that is okay, hello Swati, I stumbled across your profile and saw you're recruiting for company X. I'm a big fan of their work and currently open to new job opportunities as a Flutter developer. If you currently have any relevant openings, I'd be happy to discuss this further. If not, I'd still like to thank you for connecting and will be happy to be considered for any future opportunities. Best regards, your name. So, excuse me. So this is the intro message which you can give after they accept your connection request, where you can include why you want to be in that company, or what is the job that you want to apply for, what is the role that you want to apply for. So I'll repeat it once again. Hello Swati, I stumbled across your profile and saw you're recruiting for company X. I'm a big fan of their work and currently open to new job opportunities as a Flutter developer. If you currently have any relevant openings, I'll be happy to discuss this further. If not, I'd still like to thank you for connecting and will be happy to be considered for any future opportunities. Best regards, yeah. So this is the way you can interact with professionals. So this is how you can increase your network, and the more you increase your network, the more you will get connected to a wide range of people having different skills, and you'll get to know a lot from different people having different skills. So always try to like to expand your network. And the next what I can say, the next tip is use the find nearby feature. LinkedIn has a very interesting feature for mobile that not everyone knows about, that is find nearby. What it does is, when you turn it on, the app shows you profiles of people who are physically nearby, like within your Bluetooth range, and who have also turned the feature on. So this is really important, like very few people know about it, that is find nearby. So within your Bluetooth range, like physically who are nearby and who also have turned the feature on, all those profiles can be seen. So as a given, you also show up as active to nearby users, and this can be extremely helpful if you're going to physical networking events, conferences, or professional meetups as a means of meeting HRs in specific companies. So once you know who's at the conference or meetup, you can be on the lookout for them and say hi whenever you get the chance. To turn on the find nearby feature, what you can do is you can activate Bluetooth on your mobile device, and then you can tap my network icon and then the connect button and find nearby button. I'll repeat: activate the Bluetooth on your mobile device, tap my network icon, and then connect button and find nearby button. So very few people know about it. It's really a very good feature that LinkedIn has added, that is the find nearby feature. Yeah, so these are the 20 tips for creating an effective LinkedIn profile. So let's discuss briefly all the 20 points that we have covered for making an effective LinkedIn profile. So the first one is fill out your profile thoroughly so that you can come up first in a recruiter's search, and it's really very important. And the second tip is make a custom profile URL. So I think all might remember like how to make a custom profile URL, as I have told it earlier. The third tip is to pick the right profile photo. Simply, it's best to get a professional headshot taken. And the fourth tip is get your headline right. So your headline is really super important as it's the first thing recruiters see. So try to include professional specific headlines. And then the fifth tip is create a summary that stands out. And it's also a first thing that the recruiter reads after your headline. So include all the relevant points in the summary. And I've earlier told you 6 major points that you need to include in the summary section. So let's cover them briefly. Your years of experience, the most relevant skills, your current job title, what you have excelled, and your accomplishments, what you're passionate about, and if you're looking for a new job, the kind of role you're looking for. So these are the things that you need to include in the summary section. And then the sixth tip is optimize your experience section. So in the experience section, you need to include your position of experience and the responsibilities and the achievements that are given and that you have excelled in that position, as it's the major factor whether you're qualified for any job or not. And you can skip the irrelevant work experience. The seventh tip is keywords, keywords, and keywords. Always try to include the right keywords all over your profile so that the LinkedIn algorithm takes a notice of it. And the eighth tip is show off your work. You can always include your work in the featured section. If you have done any cool projects or organized any important events, you can always add it in the featured section. The ninth tip is include most, if not all, your licenses or certifications. Always try to include the relevant certifications according to your desired position or relevant for your role. And you can also include the language certifications, and knowing foreign languages is always a plus. And the 10th tip is fill in that skills section and get some endorsements. There's a limit of 50 skills which you can add. You can add the number of skills you have. You can also add synonyms or the derivatives. And you can ask your co-workers or ex-colleagues to endorse you. And what does endorsement do? Why is it important? Because it's social proof. And yeah, the next step is get some recommendations. Talking about recommendations, they are also social proof to your profile. They show that your co-workers and peers think highly of your skills. So the meaningful recommendations that you can get are from three. That is your boss that was fond of you. Like if you had a boss that was fond of you, you can ask them to help out. Or the second best is from clients or customers you have worked with, and the third is from your horizontally connected co-workers. And the next step is hack the accomplishments section. So you need to include all the accomplishments that you have achieved, maybe awards, languages learned, or the projects or publications. You can include everything there. And then the next step is add some interest. So the interest section, it's not anyway going to land you your new job, but it will help you showing your personality on your profile. So you can add your interest by following that page. You can add it to your interest by following that page. Yeah. And then the next step is disclose that you're open to new opportunities. LinkedIn lets you show whether you're open to new opportunities or not on your profile, so make sure you're open to new opportunities. And then the next tip is write in the first person. Always use the first person all over the profile. Do not use the third person, as it sounds more fake and pompous. The next tip is use numbers and data to emphasize accomplishments. This will always allow you to seriously stand out from the rest of candidates, as it shows a good weightage on sentence. So always try to include numbers. The 17th tip is avoid typos. Always avoid spelling mistakes or grammatical mistakes. Double check or even triple check, but avoid the mistakes. And you can also use softwares like Grammarly, or even ask a coworker to check it, proofread for you. And then the 18th tip is be relevant and active. Always be relevant throughout your profile. You don't need to add soft skills. You don't need to add many soft skills. You need to add hard skills more, because the recruiters are only taking up space, and they evaluate those during interviews anyways. soft skills. But here the most important thing is hard skills. So focus on them. And talking about being active, you should always be active. Active doesn't mean that you should spend all the day, but you can just dedicate 10 to 20 minutes per day maximum, because that is how recruiters can find you if you be active. Then the next tip is network, network, and network. Always try to grow your network and add recruiters, HR specialists, and hiring managers in companies you want to work for, for to your network. And then so that was the 20th tip, the last one. No, sorry, that was the 19th tip. So the 20th and the last one is to use the find nearby feature, which is only a few people know about it. You can operate this feature using your mobile by just turning on your Bluetooth on the mobile device and then tap on the my network icon and then connect button and find nearby button, so that you'll be able to connect with the physically nearby people within your Bluetooth range. Yeah, so these are the 20 tips you need to take care of for making an effective LinkedIn profile. Active participation on LinkedIn is the best way to say look at me without saying look at me. So always actively participate in LinkedIn. Thank you.